Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell here.
We are here to complete another Patreon request. This was another poll choice from all of our patrons. Every single month, we have our patrons put down one choice for that month's poll, and then we have everyone choose from that. And this month's winner was 13 Ghosts, directed by Steve Beck from 1997, I believe.
I think so.
I think so. Anyway, doesn't matter. Close enough. Guys, this was a fun one to revisit because I gotta say, I always really liked this movie. From the gore, of course, it's got one of the premier kills in horror movies, period. Between this and Ghost Ship, I think there's two of the best horror kills of all time. The Ghost Ship, obviously the wire at the beginning. This one is the door, the vertical split.
Oh, that okay. I wasn't sure which one exactly you were talking about.
It's the vertical split, man, for sure.
No, that was a pretty primo scene.
It really is. And it holds up. And okay, we'll get to it. But I gotta say that upon revisiting this, I hadn't seen it in years, maybe since the early 2000s, maybe not even since the late 90s. But it's always a bit of a worry going into some of these patron requests, like, oh, I used to love this. Is it gonna hold up? I almost don't want to know. And I'm here to tell you guys, 13 Ghosts, outside of one single effect that isn't even, like, by any stretch a deal-breaking effect, was excellent. It holds up so well for cheesy 90s horror. I mean, it's a little bit paper-thin at times, but it's actually a lot deeper at other times. The characters aren't necessarily the deepest at times, but everything else, the production design is unbelievable. It's so many good facets of this movie. My overall thoughts are it wonderfully still holds up. What about you?
I couldn't agree more. Actually, when I first watched this movie, I didn't like it at all.
Really?
I rented this on VHS when we still had the video stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember I watched this. I couldn't stand this movie. Years later and everything, went back, rewatched it, and it's like, holy crap. This is awesome. And I'm actually glad, again, I went back and rewatched this and everything, and it's like, yeah, it still holds up. The practical effects and everything, and like you were saying, that one scene and everything, but it doesn't matter because the entire movie is still solid. And also, too, is the biggest thing what I liked is their backstory of the characters, the ghosts especially. Like, they actually thought a lot of this out, and it worked hella good for this story. And even especially for a remake. Because the original had Vincent Price, I believe, right? No, that was House on Haunted Hill.
House on Haunted Hill, yeah.
Okay.
That was different.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, hell of a damn good movie, and I am extremely happy I was able to revisit this.
Indeed. So let's dive into the story then, and basically this story it starts off, I forgot it even started this way, but it starts off with Matthew Lillard and another gentleman named Cyrus, who's played by a big actor that I'm just spacing off the top of my head.
I know.
F. Murray Abraham, that's right, yeah. You'll know him if you see him, but they are out at a junkyard, basically the junkyard from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, in my estimation, and they are trying to track down the 12th ghost in his collection, which is called the Juggernaut. It's just a big, badass dude that just kills indiscriminately. And you get introduced to the character of Matthew Lillard, who is a psychic, that is helping Cyrus track down all of these ghosts. And he finds out during this thing that there's actually a 13th ghost, but doesn't get much information before he sees that in this attempt to capture the Juggernaut, they unfortunately lose Cyrus. Cyrus gets killed. So the story progresses forward where we meet a family who is headed up by Tony Shalhoub and his daughter Shannon Elizabeth and his son as well. And they have recently lost the mother figure in the family, which I was impressed with this movie on a lot of levels. I thought the way they showed that backstory by just having one continuous rotating shot around a room, right, where it shows the family in this room, and it's wonderfully decked out like a lovely family room, obviously, or living room. And they're all hanging out, and Tony Shalhoub is like laughing, and the mom's there and everything. And it just keeps circling, and you just hear what happens. You hear that unfortunately, the mom is diagnosed with one would assume is cancer, and
She died in a fire.
Oh, died in a fire. You're right.
Yes,
You're right. You're right.
She died in a fire.
Oh, that's right. It's a whole fire scene that
Yep.
breaks out. You're right. You're
Yep.
right. It's the IV that she's holding that throws me off.
Yep.
But nonetheless, she gets killed in the fire, and we see the room during its rotation is now hollowing out and emptying, and it's no longer homey, and it's barely lived in, and the family's kind of broken apart, and we end back on Tony Shalhoub again, but now he's. It's really cool. It's such a slow thing. He looks perfectly fine. They never cut away. So as soon as they move away from him, he's off and getting dressed up to look all gross and stuff.
Yep.
So now he's kind of a given up father when suddenly they receive word. A lawyer shows up at the door saying, hey, you guys have inherited this beautiful mansion from an Uncle Cyrus that you never knew you had. Mm-hmm. And so they go and they're like, oh, we could use a house, that's maybe our luck is turning around, So they go, and it's this beautifully crafted, produced home that is mostly glass. Mm-hmm. There's writing in Latin all over. It's wonderfully decorated. It's got antiques. It's got, not futuristic, but really high-end looking bathrooms at the same time. Like, it's a little bit of everything. And
a little cultish.
Yeah, a little cultish. And when the family arrives, they see Matthew Lillard, who's masquerading as a power man, who's having some issues, and so he needs to get in the house to see what's what. And when they go in, he goes down to the basement and sees that there's actually all 12 ghosts have been accumulated and are locked up in this house. And as soon as the lawyer goes to take his payment, he triggers something that locks down the house so no one can leave, and starts to incrementally open the cells of the ghosts. So one by one, the ghosts start being able to wreak havoc on the family and anyone else involved. And
so awesome.
It is really cool, yeah. Awesome. And again, even though it's a 90s movie having to do with ghosts, they didn't deal with special effects. They didn't go with CG and stuff. What they did was they used editing to show it off. So it would be like the same hallway, they would be empty, and then they would just cut to the ghost there and cut away, and lots of quick cuts. Yes, lots of quick cuts, but effective quick cuts that give the illusion of this ghost there that you can't see all the
basically
time.
Just staticking in and out.
Exactly.
That looked hella cool.
Super effective, right?
Yep.
And it also doesn't allow you enough time to really focus on the practical of the makeup to pick it apart and stuff. It leaves it on just long enough for you to be like, oh, cool.
Yep.
And then it kind of goes away.
You get this slight little glimpse of all like the wounds basically, and you're just like, well, shit, what the hell happened to him? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a torso guy that's just a guy that's just a torso.
Yep.
There's a little kid that plays cowboys and Indians. There's a
jackal.
A small mom and a big baby, and the jackal whose head is in a cage. And
that was one of the creepiest characters from back in the day. Him and the Juggernaut.
Yeah, him and the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut just was a little plain for me. Just looked like a really tall zombie.
Yeah, but the hulking menace and everything like that. Just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I found the jackal more terrifying.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the princess, which was just the naked chick running around the entire movie.
Yep. And then, was it the blacksmith hammer? The hammer?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The guy that had nails driven in, like the John Henry
his backstory
guys.
was actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it turns out that Cyrus has collected all of these things, all of these ghosts, because each one represents a particular entity that, when gathered, can allow. I can't even remember. Was it make him immortal or something like that?
I want to say basically, it was. I want to say it was something about immortality, but also I want to say it like opened up a doorway to something. I think.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
His motivation is a little unclear. If it's not, I wasn't paying attention as much because I was so invested in what was going on with all the characters, which isn't a detractor. So yeah, they basically have to survive and try and escape this house before this whole plan comes together, and unfortunately, one by one, they start to all get picked off by the various ghosts and attacked by them. Not all, like, it's not, what's nice about it, that doesn't always happen in horror movies, especially in recent years, is usually nowadays, if someone encounters the thing, they die. no matter what. This had a number of instances where they encounter things, but they get away.
Yep.
And I was like, that's refreshing. It's actually refreshing at this point
Yeah.
that people are getting away and not immediately dying when the bad
Well,
thing
yeah,
gets to them.
because it leaves you up to, it's like, well, are they actually going to survive?
Right.
Like, and I like that, because definitely too often, you're like, oh, well, you can basically, in the first 10 minutes of a movie, you can figure out who's going to die first.
As soon as someone peels off from the group, you're like, that's it.
Yep.
But a number of times people peeled off from the group in this, and nothing ended up. I mean, they got scared. The little boy got scared, but nothing ultimately ended up happening at that time. So it's a really well crafted story, believe it or not. Like, I really enjoyed the story of this film.
No, I definitely agree. They took the time with, like I was saying earlier, with the ghosts and the backstories of that. Even just like the small little, like not even really small, but like massive details in the house. Because again, every part of the house and like the little tinctures, whatever, all played a part in the final part of the story.
It's a giant machine.
Yeah.
Which is what's cool. It all has to run and operate like the inner workings of a clock.
Yep. Exactly. It's one giant safe in a sense.
Yeah. It's just really engaging, and it's partly as engaging as it is because of the acting.
Yep.
And I gotta say,
we have a hell of a cast.
A hell of a cast, yeah. I mean, Matthew Lillard kills it. It's Scream era Matthew Lillard, like 1 year removed.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, because 96 and 97.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah. So it's definitely the Matthew Lillard that we all like. He's hamming it up a little bit. I love too that it's so funny. They even, I think, put a comment in the movie because of this, and I'm guessing they went back and had to be like, because at one point he's in an orange jumpsuit, and then he's got a wonderful black suit with an awesome red undershirt.
When
at one point he's changing out of it, but there's a line later where someone's like, "Were you in an orange jumpsuit before?" I'm guessing that they just didn't have that in there before, so they're like, "Oh, we got to go back and put in where he's taking it off."
Maybe, yeah.
But nonetheless, he's looking sharp, young Matthew Lillard. And then this is, at the same time, this might be 98, actually, because I think American Pie was 97. And this is Shannon Elizabeth's very next movie after American Pie, I believe. Because she just, Shannon Elizabeth is just...
Yep.
At that era, like, I don't know, I haven't seen her. Oh, she was just in Jay and Bob Reunion, actually.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she reprised her role.
Okay, I haven't gotten to see that one yet.
Because Jay's kid is her kid.
Oh,
I think.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken,
She's still
I
in
know
prison?
she's in it. No, she's out.
Oh, okay.
She's out. But yeah, so Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. That's right.
Yeah. Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. Yeah.
So yeah, she's in that too. So she's holding together actually. Now that I can consider it, but that era, Shannon Elizabeth.
It was like Sarah Michelle Gellar back in that.
Dude, I thought she was above and beyond Sarah Michelle Gellar. She didn't have that nose.
I don't know, man. Like first season Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Nah,
like,
no.
Damn.
I'll take Shannon Elizabeth over
I'll fight
Buffy.
you.
And okay. Kicking the Buffy music. So I'm going to try and get past Shannon Elizabeth, but she's actually fun in this.
No, she did really good job.
She brings life. She smiles. She's not fake enthusiastic. She actually is, I think, believable enthusiastic.
Yeah, there are definitely some movies she's pretty flat, like a tire in.
Right. Tony Shalhoub
was great.
Great.
Yeah. And this was pre-Monk.
This is definitely pre-Monk. This is post Men in Black, pre-Monk.
Yep.
Because Men in Black, I think, was the previous year as well, 96.
Yeah, it was
96 is a big year.
Something like that, yeah.
It's Independence Day. Oh, no, Men in Black might have been 97 too. So, still, the previous year. If this was 98, I really need to find out when this was. Oh, well.
I think it might have been 97 because I think I was still living in New York at the time.
Oh, okay.
So.
Either way, it's 97, 98. But all of these people are really, getting big. Mm-hmm. And
don't forget Miss Honey from Matilda.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. She played one of the bad ladies, basically.
And am I wrong, or was the babysitter, the housekeeper, isn't she also the one that sang the rap at the end?
That I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it had to.
I'm not sure.
Go ahead and touch on some of the other acting while I look that up.
Okay, so basically, all the acting did great. So we had like the sleazy lawyer and everything like that. It was basically in the beginning you're not sure like really how he's playing, but it's pretty clear out like he's just in it for himself.
Yeah, she's a hip hop girl, so
is she?
Definitely her. Yeah, Rod Digga.
Rod Digga. Okay.
Yeah, I feel weird saying that. I feel like I gotta be careful how I say it. Rod Digga. But that's the name that she goes by, apparently. Okay. All right, so yeah. Rashia maybe might her name.
Okay, but no, even for our housekeeper and everything for what little time she actually was on screen, because she wasn't a big part of this movie.
She was more the comic relief than anything.
Exactly, and hell, she was great. Even that last little, basically, we'll call it like the pre-post credit scene and everything like that.
Yeah, she was funny. Again, the cast acquits themselves just fine. Even the lawyer, who I know is from other stuff, but I just couldn't place.
Yep. I couldn't even tell you on that one, but I know I've seen him from other stuff.
Now I gotta look that up too.
Well, real quick, we're
ahead.
gonna cut back away from the acting and we'll jump into the special effects.
Oh, he was in Teen Wolf. That's one
Was
of the
he?
place I need. The show. Teen Wolf is the big place I know him from.
Okay.
That's right. He was the father of the girl that ends up dying in the show. That went on to be in Swamp Thing.
Oh, her.
Yeah. He played
Okay.
her father in the Teen Wolf show.
Gotcha. Okay. I only watched a couple episodes of it.
I like that our reviews have like a through line. If you watch our reviews, you'll get things later down the line in our reviews.
Yeah, no, right? It's like, for this is for an old review, so just watch this one to get the parts of that one.
Yeah, exactly. So production design. Again, we talked about how amazing it was. I mean, the house. A lot of people say the house is a character. In this one, the house is literally a character because the house. You know, it's not doing things on its own, but it is interplaying with the characters on a regular.
To a point, this house is having like a mind of its own and everything because of the machine that's running inside of it and everything. So it's basically powered by like ghosts and demonic entities. So with that, it's semi-alive but still mechanical.
Timed, though, is what I'm saying.
That too, yes, okay.
But the production design works so well to enhance the story in this movie. It's just crazy. And then finally, let's get to sound design was good in this. I mean, music I can't remember that much, but sound design. It still cool.
At least has a soundtrack and everything with actual musicians.
With music, yeah. I'm guessing a lot of rock.
Yeah, from what I remember, I couldn't tell you right off the bat like what bands or who was in that particularly and everything. But no, like even the soundtrack, like for the scenes that we got with the ghosts and everything, for the score aspect. It was hella good.
Yeah.
It worked very well. It brought you into the scenes and actually kind of gave you that, I wouldn't say necessarily like anxiety, but that tenseness for the scenes.
Yeah, it built the tension.
Yep.
And then effects. There's obviously the makeup effects of each of the ghosts, and it's funny what's recently. I don't know if it's because they just recently announced there's a collector's edition 13 Ghosts Blu-ray coming out in July. As I was watching, I was about 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, wait, I've been waiting to watch this because of that July Collector's Edition, but I couldn't see anywhere where it was going to be a longer version of the movie. So I was like, okay, I'll just watch it, and then, because they haven't announced the special features yet. So I'm guessing that they're still finalizing. If it's the same length movie, then I was like, I'm just not going to wait. I'll just rewatch it again later. After watching it now, I'm like, happy to rewatch it again later. But yeah, so the effects are really good. All of the makeup effects, and because everything is shown in the edit as far as the ghosts being there. I guess we should hit the editing. The editing is really on point because it's making you believe that ghosts are there without having to digitally enhance the people or make them see-through and stuff like that.
Yep. And one thing like they did that I want to say in the original one, they actually gave you 3D glasses in the theater and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Before the ghost, like it was like early days of like 3D filming and everything.
Like around Freddy's Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
because of Freddy's Dead, there was just the last 10 minutes of the movie. They're like,
yeah, well, no, this was actually supposed to be for the entirety. Like they gave you like a certain point and everything where they told you to put the glasses on when the ghosts were supposed to be on screen.
I don't remember it being in 3D.
Yeah,
wow.
the original, the black and white one.
Oh,
the original 13 Ghosts.
I see what you're saying.
The original 13
I see what you're
Ghosts.
saying. Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about.
I got you.
The believable of the ghost being on screen.
I don't know that I even realized that this was a remake. I don't think I caught onto it when you mentioned it earlier. So this is definitely one of the better remakes out there as well. I believe
this was a remake. I hope I'm right. If I'm remembering wrong,
I should check into that too. Okay, so you give your opinion on the effects.
The effects I thought were great, even from the small details, from like the small cut lines and everything on the princess to the bloodbath and everything in the scene with Shannon Elizabeth. You had the hammer, so all the tiny
remake of the 1960 film 13 Ghosts.
Okay. So
I had no idea.
So I'm not crazy.
Dude, this should be on a lot of best remakes lists.
It honestly should.
It's going to shoot to the top 3 of mine.
Yep. This is definitely one of those the movies that definitely fell under the radar because it didn't have enough. I don't think it did very well in the theaters.
I don't think it did better than anything else. I'm sure it made
Yeah.
its money back.
It probably did and everything, but this was more of the ones that turned more into like that.
Damn, I
that
had
cult
no
following.
idea that this was a remake. We
This-
need to do a top remakes
I'm down.
list.
I'm down.
Because that's
Yeah,
good
so
to know.
we'll have to get a hold of the copy of the old one.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then
have to.
knock these back to back again and shit like that.
Yeah. And then the gore effects
The gore effects were great.
were great. I mean, there's a time I forgot exactly what happened to everyone. So when I finally saw what happened to one particular character and how they got like basically folded in half, I was like, oh, that's dope.
Dude, I think honestly, that's what made me not like this movie as a child.
Really? Oh, how nasty it was?
Well, what happened? Like, I was not cool with that.
Okay,
Like,
fair
I was
enough.
not cool with that because,
Fair enough.
again, I dig the hell out of him. Like, he is a badass. That should not have happened. Like,
But he even
no.
saw it was going to happen.
I know, but it's still bullshit.
Fair
Like,
enough. Potential spoilers.
Yeah.
For a
If you
movie
haven't
from
watched this movie, what the
1998,
hell are
yeah.
you doing? It's been out for
22 years.
22
now.
years? Holy crap.
Oh God, I know. Hang on, is it 22 years? Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up.
Because I think I was like 9 or 10 when this came out.
Oh, this was made in 2001. Okay.
So show us I was 11.
Damn. Okay. So
shit.
it might not be Shannon Elizabeth's second movie. It might not be Tony Shalhoub's immediate after Men in Black, but it's in that area.
Yeah.
So, forgive me, I got the year wrong, guys.
I know it was like, I think it was like
Early
Jack
2000s.
Frost and then American Pie, or American Pie then Jack Frost. Because Jack Frost, I think, was 98 or 99.
Oh, then yeah, that would have then definitely been before this one. So
Yeah.
okay, I realized. Okay, 2001. We stand corrected.
Yeah.
But guys, this movie, no matter what year it's from, is worth a revisit. It holds up. Definitely check it out. If you have friends that haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen it yet, make time
What are
for
you
it,
doing?
guys. It is a ton of fun, and it is very worthwhile. So check it out. Thank you very much to our patrons for selecting this for this month's poll. If you guys want to become a patron, the link is in the description box down below. You can tell us movies to review like this, or even movies to do commentaries for, things along those lines. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
And remember, stay scared.